everybody out there on the internet. Yeah, a little update for you. We are hot and heavy in on getting the rest of these here body parts on that there Mustang. So this bit, she's all sanded nice and slick. This is going to be basically my test panel for all of the changes that I'm about to mention. Never mind this Gorilla Glue. So, all right, what's been going on? So, quick little tour. We got interior. We got some fancy new Corbo seat belts. They're universal OEM style seat belts. Here's my clean rags. Check out this little doodad. Oh yeah. We got our Momo Prototipo, and we got rid of that stupid Momo horn button. We got one of these officially licensed Grant horn buttons, and it fits a Momo, so that's super cool. Yeah. Momo's such a dumb name. They make good stuff though, really good stuff. That wheel feels so good. Anyhow, yeah, so I haven't really trimmed that carpet to fit right there yet. Everything else is GTG though. By the way, whenever you install these universal belts, you cannot mount it to the chassis here. So what you got to do, what I did, was I just used that bottom right corner bolt underneath the seat and trimmed off a little bit of the plastic that was keeping it straight. It was making it impossible to get it in there. And she fits. So this is a little repair. I had a crack in this guy, and every time if you walked up and did this after it was painted or leaned on it or whatever, you're just gonna split that paint. So a bunch of fiberglass on the backside to fix that. I went and got a New Edge A-pillar thing because I needed some stuff anyways, and to return the seat belts I got from my buddy up in Conroe that they didn't fit. Yeah, and it turns out it really looked like it was gonna fit, but there's a couple really small details. The clips, you can't really remove them, and the New Edge clips will not fit the SN95s. So thankfully Plan A worked. Okay, so where are we at? Yeah, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this so we can stick her back on there and finish wet sanding the car. Oh yeah, check this out. I wet sanded this back bumper and got out. There were only a couple little gouges, and it only got down to the crystal white. So she could use a little bit more love, but I think I proofed out the whole not needing to do a lot of work on the back bumper. So that's awesome. Wet sanding is a lot more enjoyable than the dirty kind, dry sanding. That's what I did here, just to kind of check everything out, and that's how I found these cracks. I knew I needed to fix them. Yeah, so roof. It's so nice having her all sealed up again, because I got these guys taped up. Check that out. I got that taped up. So she's sealed. She's hermetically sealed. I mean, as much as a 90s era Ford can be. So I can make all the mess I want to. So that's what I've been doing. Anyhow, yeah. So air compressor. I figured out that the quiet air compressors, they have extremely restrictive intakes. So it's just an engine, right? So if it takes less effort to suck in air, it can make more power, right? Less restrictive intake means the exhaust will flow more. So what I did was I unrestricted that intake. I used 2 little motorcycle filters, and I cut a hole in the filter, in the little metal filters from the factory. That sucker can keep up with my gun now, so that's pretty cool. Speaking of guns, here's the new hotness. This thing comes highly recommended by some some guys who have painted a few. I've seen a couple cars painted and they came out really well with this gun using small compressors. So that's what we got going on over here. I also took today, well, this evening, yesterday evening and today, to go through my whole thing, my whole setup over here, and I organized it. I pulled it all out, pulled everything off the shelves, and stuck it back where it needs to be. So we're in new places. So I got my paint here, I got all my doodads, here's my clean and junk, here's my Bondo and seam sealer, all that crap. Stuck consumables up there, stuff I don't need to grab that often, and that gives me a really clean workspace here. So, and these guys, these can have like cleaners and stuff in them. And down there, there's all my catalysts and whatnot. There's some tools and my abrasives. So, that's where we're at as far as the rig is concerned. Works a whole lot better. It's just a little, it's quite a bit louder, but it's not nearly as loud as my old compressor. I'm perfectly happy with it. Yeah, so, I made this little shelf, these jack stands, get them up off the ground. So I think I have a plan for how I'm going to paint this car. Here's what I'm going to do. This, whenever I do the big job, this is going to be my mixing area. So I'm going to basically make a box, big plastic box. I'm gonna tape up all that stuff up there, all those holes. I'm gonna have plastic sheeting over the door. It's gonna be totally sealed. And I'm gonna have a big wall of plastic here. So I'll be able to walk through the door, go out, come over here, mix paint, and then go into my little booth right here, shoot it. Did I get sucked out through here? I got a bunch of extra filters. So the idea is that all along here I'm going to crack the door, the garage door, and cut strips of filters out over there and basically make a big long filter that'll go all along the bottom. That, in addition to wetting the floor and cleaning the shop really good and letting the dust settle for a day, maybe 2 days before I actually shoot. That's my plan, to get a very clean paint job. Anyhow, not going to do that for shooting this. This is more so a test of the rig. Alright, so that's what's going on. We are definitely in the home stretch, and I'm feeling a lot better about this next attempt at the paint job. Before I do it, I'm going to wet sand the whole car. Let me show you this last thing before we go. Alright, here's a little test. This was just some wet sanding. It was like some 400 grit. This is perfectly smooth. This is still kind of rough. So basically, I have a really expensive guide coat on this car right now. It's all I have in Avalanche Gray. So most of the car will be 400 grit epoxy primer. Then I will shoot one more layer of epoxy primer to smooth anything out, because I'm going to have that's some soap. I got to do a little fix here, and I got to do a lot of work to this thing. I got to smooth out lots of stuff I missed on this deck lid. Epoxy primer the car, shoot the car, and we don't have to rush because it's going to be as sealed as I can get it. And this monkey, we're almost there, guys. The dream is almost real. You just gotta don't stop believing, you know, like Journey says. Anyhow, that's it. That's my dog. He's still a puppy and he weighs 85 pounds. Say hey, Murphy. Alright, so that's that. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Take care of one another. I am going to go not be in the sweltering heat and stuff. Later.